Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Today is Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. It's 5:30 p.m. and this is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Marquette Township Board. And we're standing to say the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for that. Roll call, please, Randy.
Trustee Winslow.
Present.
Trustee Kidda.
Here.
Trustee Leighton.
Here.
Trustee Everson.
Here.
Make sure your mics are on down there. Treasurer Rickower.
Here.
Clerk Rattari is here, and Supervisor Durant.
Here.
Staff present is Manager Kangas.
Oh, I'm glad you have some.
Let's see here. Manager Kangas, our attorney Roger Zappa, our planner Jason McCarthy's online, and I think Lenny Bodinas is coming online also, and our finance director Kim Clark is here, and our fire chief Dan Shanahan is here. And committee members here are Rob Sved from the DDA.
Perfect, thank you.
With a mouthful.
Yes. Any public comment before we get started?
Let me mute Jason here. Okay, he's muted.
Okay. Any public comment? Okay, thank you. We need approval tonight of the consent agenda, which consists of approval of regular meeting minutes of July 1st, 2026, bills payable in the amount of $2,194,308.97. We have the June 2026 Sheriff's Department Activity Report. I added the University of Michigan close-up report from July. Note that 60% statewide of local officials say Michigan is currently on the wrong track. I thought that was an interesting. They poll all of the municipal leaders in the state to get those numbers. Also, abbreviated packet from the Solid Waste Authority from today, and draft minutes of the Township Election Commission of July 1st, 2026.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll support, but I want to comment. The reason why that bills payable is $2 million is we paid for the fire truck, which is over $2 million, and I signed that check last week, and me and Andrew did. So the fire truck is paid. That's why it's, because usually our bills are, what, 100,000 maybe, somewhere in there?
It's paid and mailed. We don't know if it's cashed yet.
But we did send the check to the place that's building their fire truck, so it's paid. We hope.
And we did get a $95,000 discount for paying cash, so that was huge. That's one of the reasons we did that. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then we need approval of the remainder of the agenda unless there are any changes.
I move to accept the regular agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, let's start with the recognition. Oh, it's right. So I'm told we need to go up to the podium so we can be on camera better. I'll try to get through this. It's short.
If not, I can help too, Len, if you.
Yeah, it's probably the smoke. Yeah, I'm so delicate, you know. All right, Marquette Charter Township honors Dan Everson. Whereas government in general has an obligation to provide its citizens the best services possible, and whereas township government in particular provides the most direct and personal hands-on services to its citizens, and whereas in recognition of his commendable service to Marquette Charter Township, Dan helped guide the township in continued expansion and development in support of community growth for nearly 10 years as a township board trustee, and more recently on the Recreation Committee, Personnel Committee, and Election Commission. And whereas Dan also served as a volunteer paid on-call firefighter on the Marquette Township Fire and Rescue Department prior to being on the township board. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Marquette Charter Township Board of Trustees gratefully expresses its appreciation for the dedicated service of Dan Everson, and be it further resolved, on behalf of all of our citizens, the Marquette Charter Township Board of Trustees wishes Dan and his family the best in his retirement. Proclaim this 15th day of July 2026. I'm Jay Duran, Supervisor, Marquette Charter Township Board of Trustees. You want us over there? Okay. I guess we should.
That would be good. Congratulations.
Speech.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say thank you. It's been a pleasure to serve on the board for 10 years.
Hold on.
Oh.
I can hear you.
I'd just like to say thank you to everybody. It's been a pleasure to serve on the board. The board has been excellent to work with. Everybody talks about government not getting along. This government here gets along fantastic. I don't know when we had the last argument. We're all in this to serve the people of the community and to not be partisan to any particular Democrat or Republican Party. And that's how we all feel. We feel we're here for the people. And for that, I'd like to say thank you.
On behalf of staff, thank you too.
Thank you.
I appreciate being challenged once in a while. I do.
Congratulations. You'll have to call him up, give him a hard time. Okay, thanks for that. Randy wants to make some comments.
Get my 3 minutes of fame here.
Take off his township trust or clerk hat.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm not the township clerk. I am a candidate for County Commission, Marquette County Commission District 3. And so a little bit about myself. I've been with the township for the last 22 years. Last clerk for the last 16 years. And my feeling is I want to try to bring our successes here to the Marquette County level. So, and some of the priorities I have is at the county level is investing in some local infrastructure. I'm not supporting data centers at this time. Support the workforce and affordable housing projects like we have here. Supporting small business and jobs, enhancing public safety and protecting our natural resources, and promoting transparent and accountable leadership. And I'd like to also throw in, try to get our transportation network, try to get that a little bit better too. And some of the key accomplishments in Marquette Township that I have is building and expanding township facilities at no additional cost to township residents. So I think that was pretty important when we built this building. It didn't cost the taxpayers anything, because we bonded it out, and I'd like to do that with the county jail. Get a new county jail, bond it out, so it doesn't cost the county residents any more money. So maintaining core essential services with declining revenues. And we've been hit here hard with the dark stores, and we've done pretty well trying to overcome that. But I think at the county level, we have to work on our legislators more to try to overcome that challenge, because it's still hitting us today. And for the county, it's the township doesn't lose as much as the county, but the county takes the huge hit with the dark stores. So we have to do something about that. And supporting affordable workforce housing that bring residents and support local jobs. And we've just done that with the Renovari development over there, trying to get that going. for some affordable housing and workforce housing. So in closing, I'd just like to try to bring successes here to the county level. And that's it. And I'd appreciate anyone's vote on August 4th. And if I could get any endorsements, that'd be great from the board. So, thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
And now I'm the township clerk again.
Okay, fire department report.
Trustee Everson, Dan, first of all, thank you for everything. I do have to tell, I think you remember when you first came on, not your very first time, I wasn't around when you first joined the department, I wasn't, but when you joined the second time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the second, after you retired from the city, there was a little apprehension about you because you came from the city. You know, we've talked about it, but I just think you don't know what that meant, because we were all a little nervous, you know. Dan's gonna know more than everybody, tell us how to do everything. Not at all, and you don't know how much we respected you for that, everybody on the department, because we were, you know, a little apprehensive, I'll admit it. It worked out great. We appreciated you, we appreciated your mentorship too. You never stepped in and overstepped your bounds and said, boy, this is the way we did it, you know? And that was, I just want to say it was very much appreciated. And really, thanks for everything you've done on the board too. You've always been a big supporter of the whole township, but the fire side too, because you understand it. You know, we can talk about it, but you've lived it, you know it, you understood it.
Absolutely.
And that's been a huge asset to us too, because maybe you can help explain things that we don't explain well to the board. You know, you being a board member might have helped over the years too. So, just wanted to say, and thank you for your service.
Thank you much.
I just noticed today, I don't think you have a written report.
No,
It was in my draft.
That's
We got
okay.
called out, and then I was looking for it through the packet and I never did send. That was last Friday
I
morning.
guess it'll be a verbal report tonight. then.
It'll be quick too. Not too much to discuss. We did have a structure fire, well, it just hit a few of the topic, that was in Chocolate. Went very well. Got a nice thank you from their chief for all the guys' help. They did an excellent job out there. Did have a little fire at Comfort Suites earlier last month. Inspections have really picked up. They're going pretty well. Call volume year to date's at 347. Last year we were at 319. So those have increased a little bit already this year. I don't have percentages, but all apparatus is currently in working condition. Lake Superior Foundation grant, we did get, we were awarded some cot batteries and a cot upgrade, roughly $5,000. AFG, we have applied and we are applying, actually Mike Greg is writing the grant for hose and appliances. Hose has been on our wish list for a few years, but we're getting it. And I will tell you, we did fairly well with our annual hose testing, which was completed in June also. Due to, I guess, many circumstances beyond our control, maybe within our control, but I know we had spoken at the previous board meeting that we would have an open house on July 20th. We are not prepared. I don't want to give a date tonight, even though we do have one in mind, but we will have one, and there'll be a little more information coming out before we have it, and a little bit of advertising so people are aware. The only other thing I'd like to talk briefly about is the EMS millage that is out there. I'll tell you how it started briefly. It started, I think, fire department, sustainable funding and staffing, and that's been up there for quite a few years, and that has been an issue. This year it became a bigger issue due to our call volume. People moving out of the area, selling their homes for a good price and moving a little bit farther away and making money on their homes, and the people that are coming into our neighborhoods are not applying to be paid on-call firefighters or EMTs. So with the very few limited people we had responding to calls, we asked the board, and they had a committee, and we decided the board and the committee, it was the board's ultimate decision to take it to a vote, which I thought was a good idea. It's worked out well. So far, we've hired, I think 11 or 12 part-time EMTs. And the biggest issue is nobody lives in the area. These people that we're hiring for shift work EMTs, they're living in Forsyth, Ishpeming. They're not from the definitely not Marquette Township area. So that was our concern. We had nobody in the area to respond at a reasonable time, and there was very few people. Anything to add, or board member John, or Andrew Kangas, or Supervisor, or Carl? Great idea to let the people decide. We'll see what happens.
I wasn't going to call out any specific board members, but it was a very quick decision made after all the discussion.
Right.
That the voters need to decide if this service is going to continue to be provided or at the level to be sustainable, right? You have to fund it. So you ask the voters in year one. And if the voters support it in year one, you can't keep going back to them with all these jobs on the line. You have to make it sustainable so that you don't tell people that in year two, when you go back for a revote and they change their mind, oh, sorry, you don't have a job with us anymore. That's not how you maintain proper staffing. And I think that's the argument that was presented at the committee level by the 3 board members. So if the voters show their support on August 4th for this millage, the intention would be that pays for the staffing in 2027, because it's 2026 revenue that you capture to spend in 2027. And that's part of the whole challenge we had to get through up front too, is you can't just flip the switch and start. You have to pay for it in the interim until the proper revenue comes, and that's why the general fund is supporting it this year. You can't do that forever, so one time, and the general fund will take a hit to do it. But then if the voters support it, it will be in the future an Act 33 levy, which is special assessment, meaning it won't go back to the voters over and over and over again with jobs on the line. And I think that's a very smart way to do it. I understand some of the concern out there that the language in the millage doesn't tell you that, but I don't think that you can put all that language on the ballot. The ballot language is, do you support it for the 1 year that we're asking for? So, if any other committee members wanted to add anything to that, I think that's about all I can provide.
The Act 33 funding, as an assessment, as you said, we could change that and add the 1 mil unilaterally. But it was suggested that we ask the voters first. So I think that's a big change, a big difference than us just saying, this is what we're going to do. And conversely, if this does not pass, we didn't have a plan 2 or B. One of the options, of course, is to just sell the ambulances and quit doing it. Is there something in between? I don't know. We couldn't come up with it after quite a few meetings, but maybe when push comes to shove, a big part of this, and I've said it before, is that the folks who are willing to work with us right now are doing full-time jobs, and they're getting burned out to have to not only come maybe from Ishpeming or Forsyth or one was Alger County, I think, is willing to work. But then if they have a 3 a.m. call, they have to go to work after that. So that was the part that got my heartstrings, thinking, we got to do something to help these people. If they're willing to work, let's see if we can give them a better shift. And that's tied into how you were going to try to structure. You know, maybe somebody's available for 8 hours on every Friday or once a month or whatever. So this is geared more to shifts to accommodate the people who are willing to help us. And I think that's a big thing. This isn't just filling jobs, but we're willing to work with the people who are willing to work with us. And I think that it's a good plan, I think. You know, if somebody wants to work 24 hours, we have accommodations that they can do that. Everybody's different, you know. Maybe they want to buy a car or take a vacation, and they want to save up for a year, and they can do a 12-hour shift 3 times a month or whatever. And maybe we won't exactly fill that exactly, but it's a whole lot better than what we have now, I think. Okay, so we talked about the shifting. Can you give us you mentioned the other day at the meeting, call volume. Before we had the ambulances,
Very good point. That was, yeah.
what was our call volume? It was
When
like,
we started the ambulance, we were averaging 300 calls a year in 2017.
And what was the revenue collected at that time for those calls?
The revenue, I would not know. Because that was...
I believe it was 0.
yeah, 0.
Oh, well, no, I thought you were talking about the revenue from the ambulance, because we did start it in 17. We started it
before that.
in September.
Yeah.
Oh, before that was 0.
Yeah.
Correct, we were the same people, same expenses, was 0 revenue.
Right.
Correct, very good. Yeah.
Without an ambulance,
Right,
because there's
Yeah.
no transport fees whatsoever.
correct.
Yeah.
So we do collect, yeah. So we were at 300, and now we're at 700. And we know within a year that will grow to at least 800 with the Jacobetti Center moving in the neighborhood. And we're getting older. We're getting more and more calls. I mean, more and more calls. And that's a lot of it too. Is everybody's getting a little bit older. So, but yeah, and our staffing was a little better at that. When I say better, I mean we had more EMTs, firefighters, EMTs. That's basically what we're talking about. Living in Trowbridge, if you will, or close to the station. Now we have very, very few that live close to the station. Even if they live in Marquette City, the other side of Lincoln Street, or a little bit on a Friday evening for an on-call fire EMT to get to the station, it can take them on a Friday evening 10, 12 minutes just to get to the station. Get dressed, get the ambulance. So our responses time has really increased a lot, which isn't good. And that's if they live in the city. The dynamics has changed, and the price of housing has changed a lot of things too, because those people aren't moving into the township either that might want to do this for a part-time job or whatever.
John?
Quite a few.
I just want to stress the fact, when it comes to the staffing for EMS calls, proximity is so huge
It is.
for paid on
Fires
call
too.
because of the response time. If you schedule them for a shift, they can live 2 hours away if they're willing to drive here for whatever duration of shift. And then they're here and committed for that time. That's the big difference with part-time versus paid on call. Paid on call, you have to be close in order to justify responding. So that's kind of an important distinction. I didn't get it right away just because I'm not living in that world the way they do. But once you connect those dots, it makes perfect sense. Coming in for a scheduled shift, you can live in Ishpeming or Gwen or
Yeah.
Elger,
Right.
Delta.
Wherever, yeah.
Yeah, it increases the field of candidates significantly.
Yeah, in 2017, don't correct me if I'm wrong, I'm gonna, top of my head, we probably had 12 EMTs maybe living in Trowbridge area. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna guess that number. Today, I think we have 2. So it's changed. People are living farther and farther away. We used to get out the door pretty quick with an ambulance.
And if we want to provide a service, we want to do the absolute best we
We
can.
want to do, right, I understand that, yep.
That's the whole point. If we
One-
can't do it, then we can't do it.
One last thing about the revenue. One mill doesn't fully pay for the staffing levels for a full year. The remainder of that has to be accommodated within the budget they already have. And doing the rough math, not actually crunching the numbers to the last penny, what they're already paying for EMS coverage, coverage on weekends and that kind of thing, should make up the majority of that difference. It's not to say they aren't gonna have to tighten their belts in some other areas to make it happen, but this is how it has to happen if it's going to.
Any questions for Dan
I
or
just have to say,
comments?
I mean, I had 45 years in that service, and it's so imperative that you have staffing. You have to be there in that first, after the call.
know that better than
3 to
anybody.
5 minutes,
Yep.
it's imperative. And I certainly hope that the voters get out and vote and pass this, Yeah, it has to be done. Otherwise, people's lives are gonna be
Yep.
in very grave danger. I hate to put it out there that way, but that's just
No.
reality.
Yeah. Time is important, it is, but that's
Yeah.
the fire cert, you know that better than anybody.
We've grown enough that this is where we are, and this is what we have to do. Possibly the next step is full-time 24/7. I mean, firefighters in the station, that's their full-time job.
We're fortunate, yeah.
Yeah.
We're fortunate that we're fairly close. We have a pretty good response time on a fire right now.
Yeah.
Today, we're fortunate.
Yeah.
We're pretty good. But yeah, you're right. And everything's changed, Used to be, if you got there in 9 minutes, you're in good shape. Now they want you in a structure fire there in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
We can't do that, but it's changed. Because of the materials in the homes and
Oh,
everything,
absolutely.
That's why. Things are burning quicker and faster.
So this is the rationale for your request.
Yeah,
That's what we
that's
wanted
the
to do is
rationale. Yep.
present the reasons
Yeah.
why we're
Just trying to
asking.
explain why. And it was well thought out by quite a few, board members and, firefighter EMTs alike.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the conclusion we came to. I think it's a good situation to try anyway, If you like it, you like it. Yes.
John?
You gotta watch it.
So you said we've hired 12 EMTs?
Part-time. Yeah,
Part-time.
yes.
And we know that everyone's schedules are different as far as their availability. How close is that to filling all of the shifts? Just for perspective.
Some were just onboarding. It's a process.
Yep, it
It
is.
really is. By the time the day they're interviewed and hired and background checks and physicals and orientation, we probably, I'm gonna say we have 7 of those working shifts. It could be 8. Because even our scheduling, actually, one of our ex-firefighters, guy that just recently resigned with us and he went to Marquette City, built a website, an app type, but it's on the website for scheduling. And just scheduling's, and timesheets are a little bit, just all those things we didn't think of, those simple things, they take all those things take a lot of time. We're getting there, but, no, we're not there yet, and I don't know that we ever will be.
I think that'll be a challenge for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen that, but are we at least covering the most important shifts now?
Pretty much, not 100%, and I think we will once we onboard a few more, which should be within a week. I think we'll be in a little better shape. And most are working 8 to 5, which is okay, but if they come to Ishpeming, do they want to work that midnight shift, get up, when they work at 8 o'clock, they don't want to be, But we have some that are also EMTs at other places, so I don't think we'll ever fill them all, but we're doing a lot better already than we were. A lot better, so,
Okay, we're good?
good.
Okay,
All right,
thanks,
thanks.
appreciate the update. Thanks, Dan. Public Works. Did we lose him?
No, Lenny's there.
No, I'm there.
There you
Just
are.
couldn't hit the button good enough.
Okay.
I also want to say thank you to Dan for serving on the board. It's been a pleasure having him on there and working with him as part of the staff here at Marquette Township. So, and good luck in the future there, Dan.
Thank you.
So we'll start with water. So our 2025 Consumer Confidence Report, we were able to get that out. There are hard copies available at the office for anybody who wants one or to review it. We also have it set up as a direct link on our website. So that's an Eagle requirement that we actually have a direct link right to it. That kind of saves us from sending it out to every resident. So that's out there. Routine water quality sampling has continued throughout the month. All results have looked good. Everything's been good there. We've also been busy completing various mistake locates around the township. This is for both water and sewer. So things are still moving pretty good on that front. We get a lot of those every day. So you'll see the guys out there marking things all the time. The Eagle water permit for Heritage Trails development has been approved. So they've been working on the sewer over there in the last few days, and I think they've probably been starting on some of the water stuff here too. So that'll be full go for both water and sewer. We're going to have a member of our staff over there pretty much the whole time that they're actually doing construction, just to take notes and to write stuff down as far as as-built, and then making sure that everything looks good as far as our requirements. Wastewater, we're waiting parts for one of our Huron Street lift station motors. We had a failure in that, I think it was a few weeks ago here. The part actually sheared off, and we're waiting for parts from Dakota Pumps on that. So the lead time on that's a couple months out. We also have another pump at another from that same lift station, like our spare pump is getting repaired too as well. Parts are just, they're pretty specialized, and they take a long time getting them. So we're managing right now. We're down to one pump in that lift station, but we have a lot of contingency plans in place. If that pump did go down, we have a pumper, and we're kind of, everybody knows if any kind of alarming goes off on that lift station, you just drop what you're doing and go there and get everything set up. With the recent chip sealing around the township, chip sealing went great. Everything looks great. However, they chip sealed right over the top of some of our manhole covers. So we've been kind of out there busy scraping those off and cleaning those up to make sure that we have proper access to our manholes. So not a big deal. Just a little busy work. We were able to get it done, and we're still, if we do see one that we missed, we're still going out there and getting it. We still have some routine grinder pump repairs and replacements. That's just an ongoing thing that we're going to have forever. They did finish up their sewer inspections in Trowbridge Park area, and kind of looking at everything. Everything looks good, no major issues. One place that they did find an issue that's not really on our system, but we do still check it just because it could become our problem, was the Coles sewer there. So with not that much use, there was some pretty big buildup in those manholes. So we were able to coordinate with them, and they actually got a contractor to come out there and get everything cleaned up with us inspecting it afterwards. So everything is good there. We generally will inspect some of the sewers that aren't on our property or that are not ours, just for the fact that if some of that stuff does get down on our sewer, then it will become our problem. So just a little bit of preventative maintenance. It doesn't take a lot of time to check some of the stuff and just do some inspection, and it's good for us and it's good for whoever's sewer it is.
Lenny,
Particularly yes.
can you explain to them what happens if the sewer overflows on one of those private sewers?
We still get the SSO, so we still get the violation because it's considered going into our system. So we have to fill the paperwork out, and it actually goes against Marquette Township, even though it's not our system and it's not our problem or our fault. And also, if some of that stuff gets down in our sewer, that's where you see us down on 41 in front of the hotels in one lane of 41 traffic, trying to get everything cleaned up. So we try to avoid that at all costs. And so far, we've been very fortunate. Sometimes stuff gets down there. That's just the nature of the business. But these inspections, just going around and popping a manhole, looking at them, is actually a major part of the job. It's not the most glamorous part of the job, but it does save a lot of work and a lot of problems in the end. For building and grounds, staff perform routine cleaning and maintenance on all township buildings and facilities throughout the month. So they're constantly cleaning, mowing, and doing all kinds of other activities to keep everything looking good. We did get a new springy bounce toy at Kitty Park. It's a fire engine, so we got it on there. One of our guys is going to try it out, be the first person trying it, but we figured that might look pretty bad for a 50-year-old guy to be on a little kid toy, so we decided against it. But it is up, installed, and we have a couple other items coming. They're kind of back ordered. I think we have a teeter-totter type of machine coming, and we also have some of those like little mini excavator things that people can dig in a sandbox. So those are expected to come within the next few weeks. As soon as they come in, we'll get those installed. We're also going to be working on installing new wood chips and working at the park there, getting things looking good here for the next few weeks. So they've been over there working. The next few days, of course, they probably won't be doing too much with the smoke. Then kind of telling everybody if they can help it and they don't have any really big things to do outside, just try to find some things to do inside, at least for the next couple days. So that's all I got.
That's a lot. Any questions for Lenny? Okay, thanks. Appreciate you waiting for us.
No problem. Thank you.
Yep. Planning Department, Jace, thanks for waiting too.
Oh, happy to be here. I'd also like to extend my congratulations and gratitude to Trustee Everson. Over the course of the last 10 years, we've accomplished a lot of meaningful projects with your support, and you've also been an advocate for staff, and we really appreciate that. So best of luck to you in your future and whatever you decide to do next. I'm sure it'll be great.
Thank you, Jay.
Regarding the Westwood Mall, I just want to keep that on kind of the top of our list as far as priorities, because it is a priority. We continue to maintain contact with the interested purchaser of that property, although nothing new has come of that yet. They are waiting for a structural report to be complete, which should be done by the end of next week, according to the latest information I have. So they're in their due diligence portion right now. I sent a email of gratitude to Mount Manufacturing and their infill development at the former Best Buy Ride North building. I don't know if you've been by there recently, but their new signage is up. They've really taken great care and maintenance of the landscaping, and it's exactly what you would want, or at least as a planner for Marquette Township, what a development should look like as an infill development. So congratulations to Jesse and I did send him an email this morning thanking him for all the hard work they've done over there. I think it looks fantastic. And that is a high-tech research and development business in Marquette Township that has recently grown and moved into a larger facility. Regarding the team car wash, the revised stormwater calculations have been submitted and approved. That was a little bit of some tooth pulling there, but that got done. And the only item remaining outstanding on that property, as far as I'm aware of, is the pending vacation or abandonment of the Ryan's Alley right-of-way, which I understand is still pending with Circuit Court. We'll continue to monitor that in the legal process and provide any assistance that may be needed, if needed. Good news, Heritage Trails PUD has submitted their proposed master deed, a revision of that, and we have turned that over to legal counsel and Roger to address, and more importantly, actually Dulcie too, our assessor, to make sure that they're reviewing that, and so that we can start issuing zoning compliance for the project. So hopefully that'll be, I I know they probably want a, rapid response on this, but I hope that both the board and Attorney Zappa take their time and review and make sure that everything's up to snuff with that. I keep the VA project on the report as well, because that is an ongoing project, although we don't have a whole lot to do with it. But as Manager Kangas mentioned yesterday at the DDA meeting, that we do have some metal on site, and we should see them going vertical at some point here soon. Seasonal property maintenance continues. Unfortunately, we lost our planning technician after a short period of time to a full-time position that was outside of the township. And while unfortunate, I think he set us off in a good direction that Eric and I can continue to maintain the progress that he had made. So hopefully no hiccups in service there. And in addition to that, of course, we get numerous calls every week, whether it's a zoning verification form, as we addressed last week, or just general calls and inquiries about Marquette Township. So we continue to remain under high development pressure, and there's lots of exciting things going on in the background. So that's all I have for you tonight. Relatively short one, but we're really focused on the zoning ordinance update and the update of the recreation plan. So the master plan, we're just waiting for Pride Printing to complete binding those master plan copies together, and we'll get you one as soon as we can. They're waiting on some material. But otherwise, the lion's share of our work lately has been working on the zoning ordinance update and the rec plan update. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
That sounds great. Anything for Jason? Okay, appreciate you zooming in.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Okay, attorney report. Mr.
Well, it's
Rogers.
been slightly above average month in terms of things that crossed my desk. One of the first ones was I issued the letter to the auditor regarding pending or threatened claims. That's an annual thing that comes up, and actually the good news is there really aren't any pending or threatened claims of a material nature as defined under the generally accepted accounting principles. I reviewed the library ballot and millage that you saw, I think, at the last meeting. The Heritage Trails master deeds and bylaws have been a big time consumer, including today. I am hoping to meet with the assessor tomorrow for a bit to discuss a couple of tweaks that master deed probably still needs, but they're fairly minor. And if all were to go well, perhaps that could be even completed yet this week. You have the Semco franchise later on the agenda, which I reviewed. I reviewed the statutory process and timelines to fill a board vacancy, because it's been a couple of years since you've had one of those. I examined the assessor contract and made a couple of changes, incorporated some revisions to that before it was presented to the assessor. I reviewed the revised fire truck purchase agreement, because there were a couple of changes back and forth on that in terms of whether that was going to be paid in advance or not, depending on the preferable, whether you could save money by financing it rather than paying it in advance. There's been an ongoing issue regarding a development with a driveway that exceeds the fire code and current compliance, and the zoning administrator and I talked about that this morning, and we have something to present that might be a resolution for all parties. And I did receive a status update as of yesterday on the alley abandonment that Jason was referring to. It is still in circuit court, and part of the issue there is there was some delay on the part of the drain commissioner in getting back on their stance on certain components that need to be addressed in anytime there's an abandonment of a street or an alley. That's moving forward, is about all I can say. We aren't opposing that from the township's perspective, so our role in that is very low key at this point, but we're involved in order to monitor it and make sure that exactly what we have approved being vacated or abandoned is what gets vacated and abandoned, and that has to go through the Attorney General as a party. All utility companies that could potentially lay utilities in an alley have to be a party to that. So there are a long list of parties associated with that proceeding, and it's ongoing and it's moving forward. And I'm probably overlooking something or another, but that's what came to my mind as I was jotting down some notes this afternoon on what I've done since I reported last.
Okay. Any questions for Roger?
That is not insignificant.
Definitely. Lots of reading. Any questions for Roger? Okay, thank you, sir. Community linkage, well, it's been quiet on that side. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the League of Women Voters two forums, one for the county and one for the judges. It was extremely well done and very educational, I thought. I did include, like I said, the packet that was pretty substantial for the solid waste meeting today. I wasn't able to do it between meetings, so I'll have to get a report. Well, you'll see the minutes, but there was a lot in there that I wanted you to see that ended up in their packet. That was their packet that I abbreviated. That wasn't stuff I provided. On trying to add a compost fee, you know, they're all about adding fees every 5 minutes to $20. So you saw the city manager's comments and how that would affect her clients or her customers, her residents, commercial. Same thing here, you know, if those rates go up, it goes to our people again, you know, and they just did a $11 increase to the tipping fees. So we're trying to stay on top of that. They argued about the Zoom option. It was available today, and I texted Gary, and Negaunee Township said, I'm sorry, I can't Zoom in. I can't get my stuff done today. We had a lot going on in the office, so I did all the moaning and didn't even participate this time. But there were a lot of people who emailed in, a lot of different municipalities, and said, yes, keep this option. So I don't know what they're gonna do, or who they used, or whatever. So stay tuned. Tomorrow I go to Escanaba for our materials management meeting. We will be voting on the draft version of this 154-page, I believe, plan that we will submit to Eagle. It will come to you at some point so you can look at it. It's very detailed. I think QPAD did an outstanding job. Ryan is extremely knowledgeable about all of the dumps. He's got it down pretty good, and he spends a lot of time talking to them in Lansing. So that's something, again, it's designed to go to the county, and they'll either accept it or reject it. If they reject it, Marquette County will have to do this on our own. So this way it's a 6-county consortium in the center that applies to all of us, and the whole point of it is to have a little more transportation continuity with the communities that have resources, and allowing us to increase our composting and recycling percentage and getting it out of the landfill and saving the landfill, trying to prevent the fires that can be caused by the compost that's in there, besides the batteries. So Dulcie just said she can be available tomorrow. Anyway, we'll look at that tomorrow. That's a couple-hour meeting. That's all I have. And you hearing anything from the public? Anything? Linda?
So
Sure.
I'm hearing that Some of the public is unhappy with the people begging, I guess that's the best word to use, at the corners by Starbucks, by Meijer. And I think my understanding is that we as a township can't do anything about that, but the residents probably should go into the businesses that it's by and address that issue with the businesses if it's on their property. So I can understand the concern.
Yep, if they're in the right of way, that doesn't matter. They're
Correct, I
entitled to
just
be in the
said it
right
has
of
to
way.
be on their business.
No, in the right of way.
They can do it in the right of way, they can't do it on
Right.
private property, correct?
Unless the property owner
So,
leaves them alone,
Yeah.
or, yeah, or grants them
allows it.
authorization. Some of the spots that have become very popular are like at shared entrances and maybe on parcels owned by corporations out of the state. So it's only the local tenants of those buildings that have the ability to put pressure on their landlord, so to speak, and that's why they're as common as they are, where they are. Walmart, I know, is one of them too, and they do it where it's out of sight of the facility itself, but not much we can do about it. The right-of-way is a First Amendment right. I think our attorney will confirm that, and then it's private property rights after that. So where we can control is on township property. If it was happening out here, we could say that's not permitted activity, or at the fire hall. But we only have limited parcels where that would potentially happen. We have more issues with camping on township property.
Quite a bit, yeah. Anything else, Linda?
Nope, that's just what I heard from a couple different sources.
Thanks. All right, let's get into business. Consider 2026 fee schedule revisions for the fire department.
I was just looking at that part of the packet for the first time, and I put that part of the packet in the packet, and I'm realizing the fee schedule you have is only the fire department portion. I didn't realize when I got it back from them, they had edited out the rest of it. There's 2 other fees that need to be revised, and that's the garbage fees, monthly garbage fees. You may remember Lenny was concerned that it might be a large increase. He went back and calculated what he had already anticipated versus what the actual new fee is at the landfill. It's a 25-cent increase per month for residential full-time and 13 cents for part-time. And I would hope that you would include that in your approval if you agree with the fire departments. And you'll see the fire department's short-term rental increase on inspections from 75 to 100. That's just the cost of doing business. Life safety inspections, they've gone to a tiered structure. And if you think about it, the larger the facility, the more time it takes. And the increments are 0 to 2,000, 2,001 to 5,000, 5,001 to 10,000, then 10 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 500, and over 500,000 square feet. So, and that 500,000 square foot inspection is $750. I couldn't tell you how long that inspection takes, but that's a lot of square footage to cover. Additional fees for fire sprinklers, commercial cooking, hood suppression systems, fire alarms, that's $100 per inspection. And then each event for inspections for special events is $200. Those are the proposed new fees, so it's the far right column. And then the 2 residential curbside garbage fees, 25 cents a month for full-time customers, 13 cents a month for part-time customers.
And the garbage fees are just a pass-through, basically. They're not.
It's all based on tipping
Yes.
fees at the landfill.
Yep.
This part of it is, this
Which is why I
increase.
try to keep you all informed on what they're doing, because we know it affects our people.
So my hope is that when we do the budget, we'll review these, because I have seen there are some residents that have more than one garbage can. And there are some residents that have one. And my assumption is, which could be incorrect, that we're all paying the same fee per resident.
That is the decision the board made, yes.
Okay, so that's when the board made that decision years ago?
When we went to the cart system.
So it might be time to, I guess I would recommend a review of that, okay?
I did
Because it
ask-
is on tipping fees.
I did ask Lenny when he was trying to, I haven't run into him lately, when he was calculating this to see what the increase would be, when he got that, if we could also talk about a staggered setup, so that he could make a recommendation as to how he could see that playing out.
Yeah.
How many people it would involve, how many carts.
I agree with that, because you see some residents with one cart and you see some with 5. So I know the resident with 5 isn't generating that much garbage, so I wouldn't think. So I think it is probably a prudent action to review that and go on a system of maybe bins versus just a regular flat fee.
And again, encouraging you to recycle, because I know I've said this multiple times, Lynn said it, but the more we put into that landfill that doesn't get recycled, the higher our costs will be over time. So please recycle, and bring your pop cans back to the store, not into your recycle.
Or donate them to somebody that will.
Yeah, really, we have some priorities over there.
Well, and because cardboard and plastic are the biggies that most of us have at home anyway, and the landfill generates revenue from that. So it helps, it's not going in the landfill. I had a woman tell me the other day about, I don't know if we were talking about plastic or what, but she said, it really doesn't matter, does it? She didn't know who I was. We were just visiting at a party. It really goes in the landfill anyway, so I don't even bother. And I went, oh, gosh. She was a city resident, though, too.
It'd be great if.
They don't know. That's just it.
It would be
So,
great.
There was some controversy about that happening in the past. It's not the case now
It
that
was
there's a
glass.
MRF.
Yeah, it was glass, too.
Sure.
With the city.
I'll make a motion, we approve the 2026 fee schedule revision. I don't think a quarter's going to break anyone for the solid waste, so.
So your motion is to do the fire that's in the packet and then include the 25 cents?
Yes, include the 25 cents for the full-time and the 13 cents for the part-time increase. It's just, basically, it's just a cost pass-through for us, and as I've told everyone on the budget sessions, it is what the landfill charges us. We're not making any money on this, it's just the pass-through. So if you have any concerns, you should attend the solid waste board meetings, because that's where it all starts.
They're 4 o'clock out at the landfill right before our meetings, so it's the third Wednesday of the month. Questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, thanks for your patience in waiting for us to get through this. I was gonna put you at the beginning, but because of the structure of how the appointment has to go, we had to make it an agenda item. So thanks for that. So, next up is to consider applicants for the board trustee seat that is being vacated tomorrow. Would you like to speak first? Would that be okay? Okay, either one, go first. Sure, I'll go. The board does have your applications, so they know what you've stated as for your reasoning. So if you want to introduce yourself, or whatever you want to say is fine.
Yep. So hi, I am Megan. I was born and raised in Marquette Township. I grew up playing in the woods where this building now stands, actually, because I lived on Ontario Street, and my girlfriend was on Fair, at the top of Fair, so we played in this woods. That connection to this community has shaped who I am, and today I'm proud to be raising my son here. And I am deeply invested in Marquette Township's future and committed to helping it continue to grow and thrive. As a local architect, I have extensive experience in commercial building and development, managing complex projects with significant budgets and financial responsibilities. That experience has given me a practical understanding of long-term planning, fiscal responsibility, and the importance of making thoughtful decisions that serve both today's needs and the future needs of the township. Environmental stewardship and sustainability have been central to my career. I believe we have the responsibility to manage our resources wisely while planning for future generations. I would like to bring that perspective to the board by supporting responsible growth that balances economic development with environmental care. In addition, my time with Habitat for Humanity has given me valuable experience working with a nonprofit board. I have gained an understanding of board governance, the rules and responsibilities of board members, and the importance of collaboration, accountability, and serving the community. I'm committed to listening to residents and making informed decisions and working together to ensure Marquette Township remains a wonderful place to live, work, and raise a family. It would be an honor to serve this community that has given so much to me. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thanks.
If you have any questions.
Does anybody
please
have
ask.
any questions for Megan? Okay, thanks. Ralph?
I'm Rob Olson, and pleased to apply for a trustee position that's open. I've got a big spot in my heart in my history for township government. I was a supervisor and a trustee for Rock River Township back in the early 90s through about 2012. That was a very unique community, which I dearly loved, but it was on the rustic side. And we, as a board and a community, worked through a lot of very difficult stuff that could be pretty personal, because out there, someone would come to my house to talk to me, which didn't bug me, but it happened. And I might be getting off the tractor to do that or whatever, but so I've had a lot of interesting experiences as a trustee and a supervisor. We lived in an area where we had no land division. We had to bring in a land division ordinance. That contrasted with a little bit of a kind of individualist, contrarian spirit, but we accomplished that as a community. We had a certain amount of stuff sitting around in our properties that created blight. And for a long time, that was frankly all right until things started to kind of happen and people got a little bit concerned about what their neighbor might be doing. We had to do a blight ordinance around that. That was a political process. And we had no zoning or planning. And so we had to take that on as well. And all of that was, I guess, to me, it was just really priceless and really cool to be able to sort of lead and participate in a lot of that. It was very, very difficult many times, very personal, but really, really worth it, and developed a tremendous respect and value for experts. We didn't have any. We needed to recruit some. We had no attorney. We needed to replace an assessor at one point. We relied a lot on MTA, and I talked to them probably a couple times a month back in the day where there was no internet and you had to call them. And I learned the value of having experts, and one of the things I like and respect about your board is you've got some really great experts here. What a luxury to be able to rely on that expertise. It's just very exciting. And I guess I just like what I see in terms of how you folks get along. I feel like I've had some experiences that might be useful as a citizen participant in government, and I'd sure appreciate a chance to join the board. That's what I can tell you. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
So we did, how did we put this on Facebook or the website? We advertised the position, I don't know what else we did.
It was definitely on
that to you.
Facebook and the website,
Okay.
and that may have been it. I think you ended up with a good candidate pool, but that's my opinion.
That's, yeah.
Good luck making a
These are
decision.
the only candidates, just so everybody knows. Nope, they haven't been chosen yet. These are the two that applied. So you had an idea of how you wanted to do this?
Well, I was, after consulting with the attorney, see, in the county, and this is not the county, so it's totally different than the county board appointment, but again, we have two excellent candidates. I think both of them would probably do a great job. Unfortunately, we could only pick one, and the one that we don't pick, I would really encourage to run in 2 years, because this appointment will only go till December 1 of 2028. And because of the timing, there would not, that we don't have an election for this position because of the timing. If it would have been earlier in the year, we would have had a primary and an election, but the way that it's, the timing is this appointment will go to December 1 of 2028. So with that said, I'll make a motion to appoint Ralph Olson as a trustee.
Second.
Okay. Do you want just a roll call, or what are you thinking? You're the election person, so that's why I'm deferring to you.
I think a roll call would be appropriate.
Okay.
So Clerk Rattari is yes. Trustee Leighton,
Yes.
Trustee Winslow,
Yes.
Trustee Kidda.
Yes.
Trustee Everson cannot vote, so he's going to be an abstention on this. Treasurer Rickower
Yes.
and Supervisor Durant.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0 and 1 abstention. So,
And there could be a new seat open if you go too. I keep
Well-
saying when, if.
on August 4th, on August 5th, you will know if you're going to be losing a township clerk. So, so that's just a couple weeks away. And who knows what'll happen, after that, if life events happen and we have vacancies once in a while, so. But we'll find out more on August 5th. Because I'll know, and if I do get elected through the primary, there is no challenger on the other side, so basically the winner of August 4th will be the county board's person. And then that, I will resign if I do become that candidate, December 31st of this year, because the county board seat would start next year, December 1, or January 1, so. With that said, we have a trustee. I think we should swear the person in so they can take their seat on,
Effective tomorrow.
well, it actually will be the 17th, because
Oh, this is the 15th.
Yep.
Sorry. Yep. It's blank, so I'll have to fill it in. There's two copies there.
Okay.
Yep.
So, Mr. Olson, if you want to come to the podium, please. Okay, so the oath of office is for the township trustee, County of Michigan, State of Michigan, County of Marquette. I, Ralph Olson, do solemnly swear or affirm that, put your right hand up, that I'll support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of Township Board Trustee in and for the Township of Marquette, County of Marquette, according to the best of my ability.
I do.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I will get these forms to you, and then I will sign them, and we will be good. Okay?
You want to have him sign?
Yeah, I'll have him sign before he leaves.
Okay,
And
if he's
then on
gonna
the
sign.
17th, you will be the official board member, the trustee.
Thank you.
And then I have a packet for you, and we'll get together and go through it whenever it's convenient for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, appreciate it. Thanks, Megan. We appreciate your application too.
Just checking legal counsel, is everything done? Did we correctly do it?
I believe so. As long as the motion puts the date of effective,
It'll be the motion will be effective the 17th of July.
when that accomplishes it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Consider the first reading of the ordinance establishing the franchise for Semco Energy Gas Company.
I may need Attorney Zappa's assistance on this, on what we do if you approve the first reading, but there will be a second reading necessary if you approve the first. And Semco is the natural gas commercial and residential provider in the township. In fact, they're relocating a gas main over on Old 492 currently. I guess that's still part of County Road 492. It's just slightly rearranged, which is why Semco is moving their gas main to the other side of the road. I think it's in the best interest to maintain a franchise agreement with Semco.
I'll make the motion to approve the first reading.
Support.
And just a comment on that, the first reading is basically informational. This will come back to the board next meeting as a second reading, and then it'll be either voted up or down, so.
So we don't need a motion.
Yeah, no, you do need a motion to accept the first reading.
Okay, so that's what we did.
Yep,
We don't need a roll call though, right?
not on this one, nope.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. So, future agenda is gonna be the second reading. Okay, consider pay request number 1 for Heritage Trails.
If anyone wants to know what I did the better part of a couple of days last week before this packet was put together, it was reviewing far more information than most developers or contractors are willing to share with the people paying the bills. And I give Mitch a lot of credit. He's been as transparent as I would have ever expected. When I see things that don't make sense in my mind as attributable to public infrastructure, which is water and wastewater, such as architectural bills that don't help you define where a water or sewer lateral needs to go. Yeah, that part that defines where the plumbing needs to go makes sense, but that's a small portion of it. Anything related to grading for the stormwater system or piping for the stormwater system, drainage ditches, that kind of thing. So I reviewed this and was a little bit shocked at how much it cost just to get to this point, and they just started putting pipe in the ground this week. That being said, now that they're going, they'll probably be done in relatively short order, and the next pay request might be the remainder. It's hard to say, but in 4 weeks, they could knock out quite a bit of this pipe. So the recommendation is to support this pay request as submitted, short of the bond closing costs, which we are paying directly. So the proper total for their request, I included in my recommendation. And that is, let me get to that page, I'm sorry. $302,093.18.
I'll make the motion to approve the pay request number 1 to Wild Flower Development in the amount of $302,093.18 payable from the Build UP bond proceeds.
Support.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Nice to see some dirt coming in over there.
Yeah.
My fear was contractors were gonna all show back up on site at the same time and start tripping over each other after not being able to help them for a couple of months, and that's exactly what's happening, unfortunately. They'll get it done.
Okay, and the last one is to consider the appointment of the Township Election Commission.
Yes, with trustee Everson leaving, he was part of the election commission. Trustee Kidda came up to me last meeting, expressed some interest in joining the commission. So, and I don't have a problem with that, because it's the clerk and 2 trustees that comprise of that commission, and with trustee Everson's leaving, we do need a trustee to fill that. So I'll make a motion to appoint trustee Kidda to the Township Election Commission effective July 17th, 2026.
Support.
Questions? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Public comment? Anybody wish to say anything? Okay, announcements. Whoops.
I have a few. Early voting starts July 25th, which is a week from this Saturday, and continues for 9 days. The hours at the Township Hall will be 8 to 4 o'clock for that. So July 25th through August 2nd will be early voting, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that's for Marquette Township residents and Powell Township residents. August 4th is the primary election, and the hours will be 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And absentee ballots are coming back in, but if for some reason I did have 1 or 2 calls that the folks did not get their absentee ballots. So if they did not get them, make sure to contact us so we can get one out to you. Or if for some reason you spoiled a ballot, or if you want to spoil your ballot, make sure you come in and we can spoil it for you, so so you can get your vote counted. So that's all I have. And I did have a class, well, we hosted a security training for elections today at the Township Hall, and I felt that was really interesting. They covered cybersecurity and how to handle disruptive people in the polling place, and how to de-escalate things and all that sort of stuff. So it was really good training, I thought. And we don't have a problem here, but you never know. You never know.
Who puts that on?
It was a state of Michigan that provided that training for us, and it was free of charge. So it was good.
So all clerks or all the election commissions came in?
So today we had we had clerks, we had the state police there, we had some cybersecurity people, for like the city IT director was there. The state police cybersecurity team was here. So we had a lot of high-level people here today for that training, so it was really good.
Deal.
That's all I have.
Anything else, Linda?
I have one thing. Community Day will be at the Lions Park on Saturday, August 1st. It's Wear Your Favorite Color Day, so whatever your favorite color is, you can wear, or we encourage you to wear. The fun will start at 3 p.m. and end at 6 p.m. for the family fun, and then starting at 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. there will be a live concert featuring Second Edition. So there's lots of things. We'll be giving away free bike helmets. There's a limited number of those. We'll be doing face painting, arts and crafts. The pump track will be open. Bring your bikes. And the first responders will have a display, so you'll be able to see some of the new stuff from the fire department. So it's always a hit. There'll be ice cream, yeah, and popcorn.
And who's gonna serve that now? You're gonna have to stay.
No, John did it last year, yeah. He's in charge of it, yeah. He has great workers, right? So yeah, the volleyball net will be up, the cornhole equipment will be out. We're gonna get some discs, I guess you would call them. And we're gonna put some balls out in the baseball field so the little kids can kick them around, so. Outside entertainment, hope for sunshine.
And better air quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, better air quality, huh, wow. So yeah,
Good deal. Any other announcements? Okay, managers report.
Heritage Trails. That's my report. It's again been very time consuming, and honestly, I think we've done everything we can within reason to accommodate the demands of the construction schedule. Unfortunately, it's led to a couple-month delay, but I think we're pretty close to being able to get it, maybe schedule a special meeting for early next week to get some approval so they can maybe get some zoning compliance and building permits so they can start pouring those footings that have been formed. I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible on that, knowing full well that if the attorney and assessor can't come to an agreement with the developer's legal team, that would add delay. That being said, Attorney Zappa did send an email to the assessor this afternoon. At about the same time, Mitch was texting me wondering about what's going to happen tonight. And I said it's looking like tomorrow's when the next conversation is going to happen to determine the one really pressing issue. And I explained to him what it was briefly, and he said, well, we didn't know how to present that either. So if they're flexible, whatever the best recommendation is that comes from our assessor and attorney might be okay as long as they can put it in words quickly that all sides can agree to. Seem fair?
Yes, and actually, I wasn't sure if we got representatives here. I've got the agreement, and I think the solution is probably swapping out the legal description of what goes in Heritage Trails 1, because they've been proposing 2 site condominiums or master deeds, one for the single family units and a second one for the multiple family units or the apartment type condominiums. And I think there's a shortcut to that, but the assessor and I will be discussing that tomorrow. I did see that she responded while I was sitting here that she will be available, so we'll have a conclusion of some sort tomorrow.
So will a special meeting be necessary, or maybe not because you might work it through?
A special meeting would be necessary, well, a meeting is going to be necessary to approve the content of the master deed, and that comes from your ordinance structure.
So if this is ready by the end of the week and you're all available to meet, you certainly can do that. You just need to be aware that I will be off tomorrow afternoon and Friday instead of the week that I had scheduled previously that I canceled. So much shorter trip than I originally had planned.
Do you want to look at your calendars, or do you want to wait for somebody to call you to get a date, or wait till next week? Or personally, I'd like to have something set up. We can always cancel it, especially if John's not here.
I know what Mitch's response is yesterday before breakfast.
Yeah, if we can do it Friday, that'd be great.
Will you want to be here, Roger?
I think that would be fairly
I would hope so, yeah.
important.
Okay.
And I think anything this week for a special meeting, given your mandatory compliance with the Open Meetings Act and so forth, I think that's probably going to be out of the question. That's
Yeah,
not at the
early-
beginning of the week.
Early next week would be better. Because Roger's right, the timeline is gonna be pretty
It's
crunched.
too tight.
Yeah.
So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Look at your calendars.
I'm
The
off,
only way you could do it for this week would be to schedule it right now and post it tonight.
yes.
Probably.
I'm
That's
available,
contingent on having a final document to consider.
That's what I meant.
I'm available next week, Monday or Tuesday. Or Wednesday after 3 o'clock.
Monday's good for me.
Monday's better than Tuesday. Monday's good?
Monday's fine, or Tuesday.
How does that work for you, Ralph? Okay. Linda?
The 20th, right?
Yep.
What time?
Yeah. Are you working, or?
I'm off that day.
Okay. Who's working? Carl, what's your better time?
Doesn't matter, I can get
Andrew?
here. 10 a.m., does that work?
That works for me.
Really okay?
Is that, what's your
It
schedule?
won't be very long, right?
No.
I didn't know I needed it, so I didn't bring it with me.
Yeah, the afternoon is probably better for me, but that might not be better for other people, so.
Worst case, Roger, could you Zoom in? if you don't have an actual appointment.
Well, maybe, but I mean, that's not the issue, it's just what else have I got on the calendar?
Oh, well, yeah, I meant, yeah,
in
whatever
terms of
duties
court
you've got.
appearances
Sure.
Or whatever, and I don't have that one memorized as far as, so I'll check as soon as I leave here, and I'll circulate an email if for some reason, whatever time you pick doesn't work.
Okay,
10 a.m.'s fine for me.
that works.
10.
Okay.
So I'll make a,
Motion.
yeah, I'll make a motion, we what's the purpose of the meeting will be for approving the master deed then, Roger?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make a motion, we schedule a special meeting for August, July 20th at 10 a.m. and the purpose will be to approve the master deed for Heritage Trails. And I need a support.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. I guess we'll just have to wait to see what you come up with.
If we have to cancel it, we can. So hopefully Roger doesn't have too much busy. I can set up a Zoom link if you can't leave the office.
And it
so.
won't be very long.
Shouldn't
right?
be that long.
Like, less than half hour.
I would think so.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Monday, July 20th at 10. Okay, anything else, Mr. Manager?
No, I think that's it, unless anyone has any questions. There has been more going on, but the emphasis has definitely been heavily focused on heritage trails.
Okay. Would you like to do our motions, please?
Yep. All right, our first motion of the evening was to approve the consent agenda as presented. The second motion was to approve the regular agenda as presented. The third motion was to approve the fee schedule revision with the fire and the solid waste. That was approved. The fourth motion was to approve Ralph Olson to the Township Board Trustee seat effective July 17th, 2026. And that was approved by roll call vote. The fifth motion was to approve the first reading of the Semco Energy Gas franchise. That was approved. Sixth motion was to approve the pay request number 1 from Heritage Trails. That was approved. Seventh motion was to approve Trustee Kidda to the Township Election Commission, and that was approved. And the eighth motion was to schedule a special meeting for the purpose of approving the master deed for Heritage Trails on July 20th at 10 a.m., and that was approved.
Good business. And part of this was like, especially with the special meeting, this is a 5-week month, so we have 3 weeks before our next meeting on August 5th, after the election, so that's why, I'm trying to get it done for them. What else?
I'd just like a board member comment. I'd just like to congratulate Trustee Everson, and he was right when he did speak. We did disagree at times, but it was very respectfully, where there was no screaming or hollering across the board table. It was always a very respectful relationship, and when he did disagree, it was very respectful. And since I've been on this board the last, I'd say I was 16 years as clerk and 4 years as trustee and 2 years as deputy clerk, but for the 20 years I've been on the board, I think we've done a really good job of when we disagreed, we were very respectful with each other, and that's very important, especially, to your residents and to the neighboring communities when they make sure you're, functional, not dysfunctional. And I think this board was very functional in the time I've been here, considering where we were in 2010 when we had a recall and it was pretty awful for a while, and then we've moved forward, so thank you for your service, Dan.
You're very welcome. It's, like I said, it's been a very great learning experience. I've enjoyed it. I can't believe it's been 10 years. We've had highs, we've had lows, but more highs than not. And a great bunch of people to work with, present and past. And right now with my life changing, a new love in my life, things change and I'm gonna move forward in a new location. So it's, again, been a lot of fun, actually. It really has. And good luck. You're gonna enjoy it. It's really a good board to work with.
Yeah, even if we do disagree, that it goes away by the next meeting.
It does.
We don't
It
carry.
does.
Because
No.
I said before, we don't have any agendas.
No,
We didn't
that's-
come into this
That
with,
is, you hit it right on the head.
with any
nobody
preconceived,
has
this is what
any-
we're gonna do.
No, nobody has any hidden agendas here, and it's all
Yep.
transparent.
It's all about the
The people,
residents.
yeah. Thank you, and thanks to the residents for voting me in. So,
Yep, thank you too.
and with that, if I may, make one final motion,
Everybody's finished.
I'll support that.
that we adjourn.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned at 7:01.